All right, Brian, midweek, Rocky Mountain Showdown week. The guys in this program, the coaches that are leading this program, are still kind of researching what this rivalry is. And I think the reason there's not as much urgency is because the fans were letting them know all offseason about Nebraska, probably not as much about the in-state rival.
Yeah, and I think that's what this program is, right? They're more invested in the Nebraska rivalry than Colorado State. It's always felt like, in my time covering this, that Colorado State's more of a nuisance than a rival, And it's like, all right, we don't really want to play these guys. They love playing Nebraska, so this is kind of more of a let's just get through this game. I love Jordan Dominic. He's like, I've got some neighbors that tell me about all these things. He goes, ask me Friday. I should know all about the whole history of Colorado State. And so I do appreciate these guys coming in here and embracing these rivalries. Coach Prime has done that, certainly with Nebraska. He did say the other day, we talked about it yesterday, but it was kind of funny when he said, look, I just got through learning about one of them, It is kind of a lot to learn about two in a row, but you got to give credit to these guys because they are taking that time to let's learn a little bit about it, and so we know what this means on Saturday night.
We'll get a lot more into the Rams and how Colorado matches up with them in our preview video. We did get a chance, like you said, to talk to Jordan Dominic today. This is somebody that's played in the ACC and in the SEC, and I think the way he described it and the way I took it was the celebrities that were on the sideline and around this program last weekend put this onto a different level that even he hadn't seen. And he played at Arkansas and he played at Georgia Tech in some of those big-time environments.
Well, I would imagine that when you're playing in the SEC, if you go play in Alabama, you might see some Heisman winners on the sidelines, multiple Heisman winners on the sidelines on game days. And so yeah, this clearly is a different level. I mean, how often do you see multiple Hall of Famers, on the sidelines? And I remember at one point, they came out, the bus came out for the second half. I look down and Shedeur Sanders is warming up by throwing to Terrell Owens. Like, what's going on here? And Michael, and he was probably not even the best receiver, arguably not the best receiver on the field because Michael Irvin was here too. So you could take your pick either way, right? But the Hall of Famers and the amount of celebrities here. This is why Coach Prime is such a transformational coach, is because these guys, it resonates with them, and you can see it when Jordan Dominic talks about it.
And I come out to cover practice today, and there's gates lined up because students were camped out here last night trying to get tickets for this next game. I keep thinking that we've reached the maximum amount of excitement that's building, and then students start camping out for tickets.
Right. Yeah, that's next level. I saw this morning, like, wow. I didn't know students really cared that much about this football team in previous years because they, give them credit, they would show up. But to care to that level says a lot about what this program is doing right now. And to camp out for tickets, these students, you got to give them a ton of credit for last week because they were here as soon as the gates opened. They were literally pouring into the stadium, and I think they were all here about an hour ahead of time. So you got to give them a lot of credit because they showed up. And college football is a lot more fun when the students are involved like this, and so I'm excited for them, and I'm excited for us because it makes those games a lot more fun when the students are that invested. And so if they're camping out, hopefully most of those, or hopefully all of them that camped out, got some tickets because it'll be fun on Saturday night.
Another small thing that made it a little bit more fun here around Folsom Field on Saturday was the new turnover throne that we have. We had a chance to talk to edge coach Nick Williams today. He said these guys are kings. They deserve it. And they were kings on defense on Saturday, and they definitely deserved it. And any way to reward, give any more incentive, a little bit more of a carrot out there, it's good. And again, college football is supposed to be fun. It was not fun around here like it should have been in recent years. And so to see just the little details that are poured into making it more fun is pretty cool.
I think a lot of people, old school people may not like things like that, the turnover chain at Miami, things like that. But I'm with you. Anything to make it more fun for the players playing the game, I'm all for it. And if they think it's fun to, hey, I want to get a turnover so I can sit in that throne, that's awesome. That was a cool thing for them, and they deserve it because they played a really good game defensively on Saturday against Nebraska.
You could make an argument that Nick Williams' group is the deepest on the team. At least that's the way the rotation has looked so far. There's been some guys like D.V. Harris that have stepped up on early this season that it's not that we didn't think they had talent, but there's guys like Jordan Dominic that have played at such a high level that maybe you thought it would be tough for them to get on the field. But I like the way that they're rotating through there, because that is a position where you have to have a high motor. And being able to rotate guys through there allows you to maintain that motor. And I think it's going to keep them more fresh as the season goes along.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, we saw Taj Olson and Jordan Dominic have really big games the other day. A guy like, Derek McClendon is not really busted loose yet, but I think he will at some point. And with that rotation, keeping guys fresh, it's going to lend itself to that. And, D.V. Harris has made some plays. Taj McCoy is a true freshman that he's been talked about all camp. He's getting in there a little bit as well. And so you got to like the depth and talent of that group.
Any other thoughts from today's press conference or media scrum? Nick Williams is a guy that I think would be a lot of fun to play for because you always know where you stand with him, and I think he's a guy that you want to run through that proverbial brick wall for.
Yeah, he sounds like he's lost his voice. Doesn't have much of a voice left at this point in the season. But one other thing I took from it was he was asked about guys getting distracted by all the hype, and he said no, because we know that all those people patting us on the back right now are the same people that were criticizing us before, and they're waiting for us to screw up so that they can criticize us again. So they're using that. They're still using that to motivate these guys, and I say whatever works. I mean, it's worked so far for 2 weeks. If they can keep it going, keep it going.
If there's 1,000 things said or written about this program, and one of those out of 1,000 is negative, I think Coach Prime and this staff need to just use it because that us against the world mentality, I've said it a few times already this season, I think it's really working out for them. So
yeah. And I think the majority is with this team, and especially Buff Nation, is behind this team. But they've latched on to the people that have not been behind them, and it's a smart tactic because it's gotten these guys going. And I think whatever you have to use to get them going, you do it.
All right, we're going to be back tomorrow as we break down the 2023 Rocky Mountain Showdown.